Welcome back to the Racing Insiders on MAVTV. Some of the best looks at sports car racing anywhere. We think you'll enjoy it. Especially this week, we've got a packed show. I'm Bill Wood in Los Angeles. We've got Peter Keene in Cocoa Beach, Florida, and Jim Daniels in Memphis, Tennessee. Peter, what's it like out there in Florida, the good country?
Beautiful, sunny Florida, and just everything's excellent, Bill.
And Jim, what about you in Memphis, Tennessee?
Hey, I got my barbecue plate down. I'm ready for this day. We got a past Indy 500 competitor, some champions to be, some past champions, some young people from Le Mans. This is going to be great. Can't wait, Bill. Let's get to it.
We've got a great show filled with some of the fastest sports car drivers in the world, including World Rally Champion Sebastien Loeb, 9 straight championships. He's sampling a little bit of everything this year, including Pikes Peak. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. He tested it this weekend. He's in the Unlimited class in a one-off Peugeot, along with Rhys Millen, the record holder going up the mountain, 946 and change. He's in a one-off Hyundai Genesis Coupe. Both tested this weekend. We'll hear from them because we were there. We've also got John Fogerty, number 2 in Rolex Daytona Prototype points, one of the fastest qualifiers in all of sports car racing. We've also got the guy he's chasing in the DP points standings. That's Jordan Taylor. We've also got Dean Martin, part of the Pirelli World Challenge Championship. He won the race at Detroit. But first, let's start with going up the mountain at Pikes Peak. Sebastien Loeb and Rhys Millen were there this weekend. They got in the car, got a chance to test, break in new cars they're going to have there. Let's take a look at what that was about.
For me, it was a good weekend. I was very happy with the handling of my car. I found a good confidence in the car. It's what I wanted because we didn't test so much in Europe. We started really to test here, and so I didn't know where I'm going. And finally, the feeling with the car is really good. I feel confident in it, so it's fast and everything is going well.
For our first weekend testing with a new car at Pikes Peak, we're really excited. We learnt a lot of little teething issues, but that's why you test and do it before race week. Overall, the speed of the car is there. We just have to wait till pretty much the last run for the road to warm up to be able to use all the power that we've got. So, you can't tune the car for that cold road because it will never be like that on race day. But overall, everything's still in one piece. Everything seems to be very reliable. It's just those little issues. Work through those and we'll be really happy.
Great footage there, 156 turns, 12 miles going up the mountain. Peter, what do you think about this event?
Well, obviously there's 2 titans coming with 2 good machines. It's Millen against Loeb and then Peugeot against Hyundai. Let's see what happens. I mean, it should be a great event, and hopefully they can go quicker than 946, right? What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, I've been up that place myself before it was paved, and I can't stress to the fans enough. 156 turns, 12 miles in less than 10 minutes. It's quite spectacular. Loeb is a show favorite, Bill. I'm so glad you got us hooked up with him. He's a pleasure to watch drive, and I know he's going to do well. These cars are rocket ships. I don't know if you guys looked at any of the spec sheets on these, but if you do the fan favors to look at these cars, they got to turn these cars back until the last runs of the day because they can't put the power down on these all-wheel drives, even on the pavement, until the mountain heats up. Bill?
You went up the mountain once in competition, didn't you, Jim?
Yeah, it's been some time ago when the Legends cars were invited and still had dirt roads. And I'll tell you, it's like racing a day race, a night race with a 50-degree temperature swing in between. It's quite amazing how you have to chase the setup and chase your own physical fitness.
That's coming up June 30th, Colorado Springs, Colorado, Pikes Peak Hill Climb. It's going to be one of the best events. It's the second oldest event after the Indy 500 here in the United States. We've got a huge show coming up. We still have John Fogerty and Jordan Taylor, the top of the sharpest end of the field in Rolex Daytona Prototype Racing. Grand Am. This is the Racing Insiders on MAVTV. Don't miss a minute of it.
Let us know what you think about what the Racing Insiders have to say. Tell us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to the Racing Insiders on MAVTV. I'm Bill Wood in Los Angeles, Peter Keene in Florida, and Jim Daniels in Tennessee. On the phone with us now from Oregon, we're all over the U.S., is John Fogerty, record holder in the Rolex Daytona Prototype. I think it's up to 25 pole positions that he's won. He's one of the best qualifiers in sports car racing. John, welcome. And the speed and all, you're second in points, going for a championship. It is an odd year after all. Your two previous championships came in odd years. You due for another one this year?
I think so. Yeah, we missed out in 11. So we're pushing hard on the Gainesville team. Like you said, second in points right now. Super tight, always competitive in Grand Am, but we feel like we have a good car and got a good grasp on the Corvette this year, and just pushing hard. We want to win that championship.
Does this championship mean any more because it's the last one in the old Daytona prototypes before the merger?
Yeah, I actually haven't given too much thought to that. You know, we're still focused on kind of the now and just getting the most out of it ourselves and the car and the team. So it will be good. But it's always good to win a championship. So I'd love to win this one, and I'd love to also win the first one of the combined series.
Peter Keene, jump in there. You're with Spirit of Daytona. You know about Daytona prototypes.
Yeah, no, John. I know you guys had a tough year last year, but it really looks like you guys got the speed back from 2 years ago when you guys were really fast. I mean,
it's such a kind of a black magic to figure out where speed comes from, and you can't always pinpoint what it is, but. The car's working well. You're right, the 10 car has been super tough. But we feel like we have a car that's certainly raceable, and, and consistency is key. I actually think we probably had a better car than what the points showed last year, but we did have a lot of mechanical issues, and where that can be traced back to, I'm not sure, but I'm hoping that's all behind us, and just kind of can keep it consistent and up towards the front.
Hey, John, Jim Daniels over in Memphis. My question has to do with that black magic in dry spells. From the amateur ranks all the way up to you guys' level, you go through periods where you can't get out of your own way. You're not qualifying well. You're not finishing well, and you're mad at the team. You're mad at your engineer. You're mad at yourself. Tell our fans out there that may be going through one of those slumps. So what do you do to pull yourself up? You get in the gym? Do you drink more coffee? Tell us how you guys survive this dry spell of frustration.
Yeah, I mean, the key, I think, is to not get frustrated. You just want to keep a positive outlook. It's super tough at times. Bob Selling, team owner, leader, is a real positive and great influence in that regard. He never lets the guys get down. So you just got to keep your head down and keep doing what you think is right.
John Fogerty, Alex Gurney, two of the fastest guys, two of the most intense guys. The last thing you want as a competitor is one of those two in your mirrors. 2 championships, second in points this year, only 2 behind Jordan Taylor and Max Angelelli, Wayne Taylor Racing. They're coming up right next. John, thank you, partner.
Great to talk to you guys. Thank you.
Let's go now to the man they're chasing, Jordan Taylor. He's first in points with his teammate Max Angelelli. They won at Detroit. And Jordan is just coming back, in fact, from Le Mans, with the Le Mans test last Sunday. And first of all, Jordan, congratulations on the win in Detroit.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been a great year so far. I mean, we got the win, obviously, this weekend in Detroit. I had my first pole position, and like you said, we're the points leaders, so going to be going much better right now.
Any problem switching from prototype to GT car that you'll be driving in Le Mans?
Yeah, there's a few big differences. I mean, the number one thing is going from a prototype to a GT car. So in Detroit, you're looking out the windshield the whole time, and then you go to Le Mans, you're going to be looking in your mirrors the whole time. So there's definitely that's a mental change, but it's a good thing to test because it allows me, like, when I go from one car to the next, I can understand what those other drivers, what's going through their heads.
Peter Keene, get in there.
Well, I guess my question, Jordan, is, the media always wants to make a big rivalry between you and Ricky, your brother. And, I just don't see it. I've been in the paddock with you guys all year long. I think there's probably more team rivalries, wanting to be the best Corvette. but I don't see it between you two guys. I know spotting for Ricky, I sure was trying to have him rough you up at Coda, and then I think we had something for you at Detroit if we didn't run into trouble. But I mean, I don't see the rivalry. I think you guys are still good buddies and actually work together, don't you?
A lot of people think brothers in any sort of competition, they're the number one rival, but for some reason we've grown up a little differently, and we're best friends, so we want to see each other do well, and this is the first year we ever raced against each other in any form of racing, whether it's go-kart or skip barber or anything. So when we got to Austin, we really had no idea what was going to happen until we were actually on the track, and once Ricky started defending, and it was an unbelievable battle. It was like, that was probably the best battle I've ever had in my career, and it's pretty cool to say that I was with my brother.
So I'm going to take our fans to a technical side. There's some website buzz and some pictures about the radar that's in that Corvette. Tell our fans about how you look out of the back of that car at Le Mans.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing with the GT car is looking at the back of the car, and since the rear window isn't a window in a Corvette, it's all blocked off. You've only got your side mirrors, and what Corvette has developed is this rear view camera, but it's not just a video camera, it's a radar system. So what the Brad Miller engineers did was develop this radar system so they can pick up a car by their headlight or by an object, and it can judge closing distance and judge distance. So what you'll see in the mirror or on the camera will just be a screen as a camera, and then as the car gets closer, there'll be a triangle, and as it's getting closer, the triangle gets bigger, and then on closing speed, it changes color, so you can tell if it's a GT car, it won't be closing distance that fast, but if it's an LMP1 car, you'll see it going from green to red really fast, so you'll know, okay, there's a car closing on me really fast. I can't really see where it is, but I know it's coming quick, and I need to be ready for it. So as a GT driver, it just takes one thing off your mind and makes it a lot easier.
Well, Jordan Taylor, we haven't talked a lot about your video production, and I'm kind of crazy about that. You want to release something now before Le Mans, or anything else coming up soon, so you could continue with the pattern?
I don't think we'll have one before Le Mans, but hopefully after Le Mans, I think we've got about a month break that we can get working on something. I think we're all a little afraid that we're not going to be able to top the last two, so we're going to take some time to think about it, I think, before we send out the next one.
That's just like a race. Everybody thinks you can't win again, but you'll put out another one. Jordan Taylor, points leader in Rolex DP, Daytona Prototype. Good to talk to you, partners. Good to talk to you again.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
We'll be right back. This is the Racing Insiders on MAVTV. We'll be right back after this.
This segment of the Racing Insiders was brought to you by GoRacingTV.com. For racers, by racers.
Welcome back to the Racing Insiders on MAVTV. I'm Bill Wood in Los Angeles. We've got Peter Keene in Cocoa Beach, Florida, and Jim Daniels in Memphis. Joining us guest this week is Dean Martin. No, not the guy that sings. I always tease him about that when I see him. But this is the guy that wins races. He won the World Challenge GTS category in Detroit. First time he's seen the track, first time he's running the car, but he knows the car, a car that everybody else says is too slow. Dean Martin, congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much, guys.
It was a phenomenal win. You really came back. You know Mustangs. The Boss S is an incredible car. You showed it. How did you do in the GTS? Did you have a little trepidation when you were going to start the race?
Yeah, I mean, well, I wasn't nervous at all. It's just being my first race there. I was just kind of feeling it out, and we were pretty quick, even just in the practice. For Saturday, I qualified fifth and kind of hung around there in the fifth place, fourth place, and finished fourth on Saturday. But I was really working hard at the end of the race on Saturday. I had used up my tires a little bit, so I was trying to be a little bit smarter on Sunday and save a little bit for the end of the race. And then we had a bunch of cautions, and it allowed us, it at least allowed me to keep some tire under me.
Yeah, Dean, you're just like all other drivers. You always say everything else just fell into place. You beat them, dude. There's nothing wrong with that. Just admit that.
Yeah, well, I won, but it was the opportunity presented itself, and I took advantage and I came out with the win. So I'm happy about that.
Jim, you know what's going on here. Get in there.
You are a wheel man. Did you do anything different on this car? Did you out-trick them on setup? Give the viewers a rundown on your setup strategy and how you attack this race to be in front of you, Dale, and these other Mustangs.
I mean, basically, you know, we knew it was a street course. We knew it was going to be bumpy, relatively tight. So, you know, we went with a soft setup and focused on forward bite, and trying to make sure that we had, you know, proper balance between mechanical grip and aero grip. So, you know, in the first session, we trimmed it out and with very little aero to get the mechanical side where it should be, and then in the second practice session, which would have been qualifying, we added a little bit of wing to it and still tweaked on that right up until actually through the whole weekend we were playing around with wing, but made very few adjustments on the car. Just, you know, kept it soft and made sure that it had good forward bite coming off the corners.
Well, I just got a couple comments. I mean, I rolled around the paddock and asked, you know, I was there as well at Detroit and asked people what they thought about the Mustang because we've been hearing how down they are. And I got to tell you, a lot of competitors are worried about the Mustang if a person of your talent and prep level gets in one. And they weren't really worried at Detroit because it's so tight. But if they get to the bigger places, I think they're afraid of you. I mean, just talk about the balance of the series in your opinion.
Yeah, you know, I think at this point, I think the Mustang and the Acura are pretty close. Obviously, they've got different strengths and weaknesses, but I think that balance is pretty accurate. You know, I had a battle with Mark Wilkins on Sunday, and it was a constant battle. We went back and forth, and he just, every time on a restart or if we got off a corner, he'd just pull right up beside me, and I'd have to position myself so that I had the, you know, the braking zone in the next corner. You know, we banged wheels probably twice. You know, just had really good racing, but man, it was a real struggle to try to hold him back with the power that thing had down the straightaway.
Excuse me, Dean Martin, before we get out of here in these last 30 seconds, you gave a lot of details about the racing. You remember that stuff? Do you take it away for any length of time?
Yeah. You know, I tend to absorb it, and I go back through and I watch my in-car video, and I always watch the broadcast to see what I can learn. I mostly focus on what mistakes did I make so that I don't make those mistakes again.
A student, go figure. Dean Martin, it's good to talk to you again. And here's a guy, ladies and gentlemen, who still races in the amateur ranks and has fun doing it. He's a driver who likes to drive. Dean Martin, it's good to talk to you. This is the Racing Insiders. We'll be right back.
This segment was brought to you by the Sports Car Club of America.
Are you kidding
Now, for those of you who haven't seen the show before, this is Are You Kidding Me, a segment where you get a chance to know what's bumping around in our heads. Starting with Peter Keene. What's going on in your mind, Peter?
Hey, Bill, my Are You Kidding Me is all the rough driving that happened at Detroit. You know, the series still aren't taking it very seriously. Yackerman hits everybody but the concession stand, and he only gets put on probation. And then Nick Janssen, who's a habitual offender of crashing people, takes P.D. Cunningham out at the beginning of the race, or really takes himself out. And at least Pirelli World Challenge had the goal to give him a $1,000 fine and some points. But I mean, I think they need, when you're blatantly taking somebody out, they need to take this seriously. That's my Are You Kidding Me? Get real and penalize these guys.
How about you, Jim?
Hey, are you kidding me? Mine's along the same line, just for you techies out there. We race and we have a rule book. That rule book includes how to drive, includes how to prepare your car. You can go to the Pirelli World Challenge website and see their fines and penalty pages, and apparently some of these people just don't get it. Let me explain it. If it doesn't say you can do it, you can't do it. That's the age-old adage in racing. Number two, if it says you must have a spec part like a ECU flash, you got to have that ECU flash, not one you think up yourself. Bill?
And my Are You Kidding Me is from Finland, where Tanner Faust, running his second of 4 European Rallycross rounds this year, and he's won them both in the UK, the first event, and this past weekend in Finland. It'd be good to see him run the entire championship, but he can't. He's committed to Global Rallycross. Another American, Brian Deegan, had a pretty rough time, a learning weekend at Finland. He ran in the event, finished 13th overall, didn't make the final, had some rough runs in the heats, finished 8th in one of the heats. That was his best showing, but overall, are you kidding me? Tanner Faust, one of the best rallycross drivers in the world. And he's a friend of mine. Go figure. That's Are You Kidding Me? What's going on in our minds. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. Still have more show. Come on back right after this. The Racing Insiders on MAVTV. Before we get out of here, let's take a look at what's going on our schedules this weekend. Peter, where are you headed?
Well, the Spirited Daytona boys are all loaded up, and we're heading to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for the Rolex Series race, and hopefully we can win that thing again. It'll be 2 years in a row if we win it again. Gonna give it our all. Jim?
Yeah, I'm headed up to Road America, the June sprints held with by SCCA. Going to see what kind of Spec Miata action is mixed up, and I'm always on the board to pick who wins in that class for Sports Car Magazine. So I'm going to get some inside information. We'll have a good show next week regarding the June sprints. Bill?
And it'll be good to pay attention to Grand Am at Mid-Ohio to find out what the guys who went to Le Mans for the test last Sunday, how they react to the racing on a very different track and very different kind of cars. We'll have copies of that and much more inside information, the Racing Insiders on MAVTV. I'm Bill Wood in Los Angeles, Peter Keen's in Cocoa Beach, Florida, and Jim Daniels is in Memphis, Tennessee. The best sports car show in America. Hope you agree. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. Let us know what you think. Till then, take care of each other, respect each other. Peace.